So a lot of people have been asking me what's it been like to teach in Sweden. I thought I'd summarise basically what's been happening since the start of the pandemic COVID-19. Last spring we were informed that probably nothing was going to come to Sweden, so we could just carry on teaching as normal. Some of us were a bit worried, but the numbers seemed quite low, and then we were told that schools were safe, that the chance of children getting serious COVID was very small, and the chance of children giving it to teachers was also very small. So we've been a little bit nervous last spring, but we just had to get on with it. It was important that schools were open and we were able to be there for the children. We did have alcohol in the classrooms and a few markings on the floor so that kids didn't get too close to one another, but otherwise it was pretty much business as normal. Then we came back in the autumn, in August, and things started to really sort of take off around the whole of the world and Europe. So I decided to start wearing a face mask, but none of my colleagues were wearing a face mask, and we were told by our health authority that face masks were not necessary in school because they still deemed that the risk of children getting COVID or the risk of teachers getting it from children was still very small. So we carried on as normal. Then the second wave came to Sweden, and it was really quite large, and a lot of people were getting infected. And when we look at the statistics of week 50, then 70% of all the cases in Sweden of public places actually originated from schools. So I've been the only teacher in my school out of about 70 teachers wearing a face mask. We're not recommended to wear face masks in school, and the children aren't recommended to wear face masks in school. So a lot of people don't. It's been really scary. It's been surreal to be in this society where you're told to keep in a small bubble of just your closest. My husband's been working at home since spring 2020. Our family bubble has been me and him and our children. But then my bubble at school has been being surrounded by hundreds of kids. We're still working full class sizes. We are still crowded in the corridors. It's been really difficult to keep a distance and to have a safe bubble when your bubble actually consists of several hundred kids every day. Don't know how we're really supposed to keep ourselves safe. More than half of my closest colleagues have had COVID, probably all infected at school, where there has been outbreaks in different classes fairly consistently. Every month there's been a new outbreak. Scary. It's, we've just tried to get on with it. I do feel that now moving to an FFP3 mask has helped keep me safe. A lot of my colleagues have had COVID and I haven't. One of my colleagues is still suffering from long COVID after a year. My stepbrother-in-law Guy in South Africa, who's a bit older than me but very fit, well-trained guy, he's passed away from COVID. So I've understood that it's serious. We've been really longing for vaccination. We've been asking the health authority and the government if they could consider vaccinating teachers, because many people here are working from home. All of the office workers are working from home. All of the state employees are working from home. Most of the communal employees are working from home, unless you're working in shops and buses and of course hospital, taxi drivers, that they've been working in situ, of course, and care home workers and teachers. But no, there's not even been any vaccination so when they released the vaccines suddenly on the middle of May for my age group 50 plus, it was really hard to get a time, because everybody that's working from home was able to just go on the computer and take all the times, and by the time we had finished work there were no times available. So we've had very frustrated teachers struggling for weeks and weeks to try and get a time in order to make themselves safe and get vaccinated, and that's been really hard. I've heard in the UK that teachers were vaccinated first. Well, that hasn't happened. We've asked to be vaccinated earlier, and we've been told no, there's no risk, higher risk for teachers, even though 1 in 4 teachers has been infected with COVID. So there's obviously been a very high infection rate of teachers, but we've just been having to get on with it and do our best. So that's what we've done. It's been scary. It's been a bit of a nightmare, if I'm honest. You know, I have to go to work, I have to do my job. I love teaching. I really want to do an excellent job for my pupils, but it's not been possible to do it as well as I would like. It's not been easy. It's really been tough. Now I am at least vaccinated the first dose, and I'm very relieved about that. I've got 6 more weeks before I get my second dose, so just keeping fingers crossed that I can stay COVID safe, stay in my family bubble, stay isolated, stay away from crowds. I haven't been shopping for a year and a half. You know, my everyday situation has been going to work, coming home, staying home, or you know, meeting a few friends for a walk every now and again, but only outside. It's been very isolated. We're all looking forward to COVID being over, and hopefully it's not long now. So what's it been like teaching in your country? I'd really like to know. I think we teachers around the world, we should unite a little bit, and we should tell each other, how have teachers been taken care of in our respective countries? Take care. Bye.